show.
I would have introduced him, but I wasn't sure which one he was. I'm sorry they've all grown so much. I guess I'm a human being. I hope I'm humane as a being, too. Lois was born in Sterling, Colorado, February 22, 1942, to Dean and Ellen Ressler. She grew up in Sterling and Denver with her brother, Lois. Is that how you say it, Lois? Okay. She tells of the antics that she and Lois would cook up, including riding the horse through the house, falling off the dresser and breaking her collarbone, their first TV, and roller skating on the sidewalk. She left home at 13 to attend Campion Academy in Loveland, Colorado, where she was her senior class vice president and spent 4 years in the ski club, though she never actually skied. While studying at junior college in Sterling in 1960, Lois met Charles at the skating rink. It was love at first sight, and Lois convinced Charles to follow her to Union College in Lincoln, Nebraska that fall. She could sell anything to anybody. They wed in 1962, spent summers working on a farm while finishing college. Lois graduated with a bachelor's degree in secretarial science in 1964. In 1966, the young couple moved to Hinsdale, Illinois, where they welcomed a daughter, Lisa. In 1966, a son, Stephen. In 1967. The Hinsdale period saw them travel all over the country with their young family, from Florida, multiple trips to Colorado, and the long drive up through Banff and Lake Louise, then down through Washington to Oregon. In 1973, they moved to Portland, where Lois and Charles would remain for nearly 50 years. With her young children, Lois's primary interest and greatest joy came from mothering, often working part-time to be able to dedicate time to her family. She tried substitute teaching and hated it. But selling Tupperware and later Avon, I said she could sell anything, was more in line with her social side. Later, she continued her career as assistant office manager at a psychologist's practice, then as secretary of the Sunnyside Seventh-day Adventist Church, and then in the president's office at Portland Adventist Medical Center, where a colleague said of her, for many years, Lois was the face of the front office at PAMC. Always helpful, knowledgeable, and pleasant. One left the encounter with her having realized a little lift in spirit and a spring in the step. Lois continued her love to travel with trips to Mexico and Canada with kids still at home. Then later, Lois and Charles traveled to Hawaii, Australia twice, Fiji, New Zealand, then trips to visit Steve and Krista in Holland, Belgium, France, Germany, and Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and Croatia. She loved to travel. In 2000, Lois and Charles retired, bought a motorhome, and traveled the breadth of the country, wintering in Arizona. Toward the end of those 2 years, Lisa and Steve noticed that their parents started referring to the other as your father or your mother. Peace was restored after 2 years on the road, when they settled back down in their new home in Clackamas, Oregon. For the next decade, they enjoyed summers in Arizona, seeing grandsons Nick and Charlie grow up, and being close to Lisa. Frequent trips to Arizona followed to see great-granddaughter Paisley. Lois' interests were as numerous as they were varied. She was an accomplished pianist and organist. That was mentioned yesterday at church. Vern Henry, standing up front, said, how many times I've looked over at that organ and seen her there playing. She was an accomplished pianist and organist, sharing her gift with the churches she attended. She had a passion for cooking and was always interested in trying new recipes. Her family rarely ate the same meal twice. She always had art and craft projects, oil painting, needlepoint, sewing, Brazilian embroidery, hardanger, hope I said that right, carving watermelons as centerpieces for weddings, and string art, greeting cards. Most of her creations were given to dear friends. She loved to travel, mostly before the kids came and especially after retirement. She visited all 50 states, as well as Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Canada, Mexico, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Australia, Slovenia, Croatia. She was adventurous, even trying skydiving to celebrate her 60th birthday. I see heads nodding that we're fully aware of that. Her last 4 years brought a series of health challenges. She conquered non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2018, and then melanoma in 2019. Most of you saw firsthand how she faced these challenges with grace and dignity. In April 2021, the diagnosis of terminal glioblastoma started the difficult final chapter. Strengthened by her unwavering faith in God's plan for her life, a surgery to move the tumor left her with trouble speaking and the loss of much use of her right arm. This was so hard on her, no longer being able to play the piano, cook, chit-chat with friends. She bravely faced radiation and chemotherapy, but still had a ready smile and laugh for visitors. She deeply appreciated each and every visit. In the fall, Lois and Charles sold their home and moved into Cherrywood. In February, she had a severe seizure that required a week in ICU, followed by a recovery facility, and caused further speech difficulties and no longer being able to walk. COVID regulations at the recovery facility meant Lois celebrated her 80th birthday with cupcakes and a 90-minute visit from her family. In May, Lois and Charles moved to Tucson to be close to Lisa. Lois was taken from us on July 18, just 4 days shy of her 60th anniversary. Lois leaves behind her husband Charles, children Lisa, Steve, and Carla, grandkids Nick, Charlie, Sean, and Chris, great-grandchildren Paisley and Bradley, born last Thursday. She felt him and her in the tummy. Lois would want to be remembered by her for God, for her family, for her church, and for each and every one of you. Can you say amen to that kind of a life? Amen. I'm going to ask Terry. Terry, where are you? There you are. Come on up front, Terry. Terry's been asked to have the closing prayer for this part of our service. And then we're going to open up for food, have serving take place. And during that, we'll be interrupting your eating every once in a while. Oh, that's right. I have it written down. There's a video they're going to play of Lois's life. I think you'll enjoy this.